Kuzma with another solid performance, and especially in that fourth quarter. We saw it, on Saturday. We saw it in Summer League. What's just to make of him doing it again tonight?
He loves to compete, honestly. And it's funny because I have to remind myself, like, we're young. There was a time he closed out short to one of their shooters, arm lengths away, which is what we've been teaching him all week. He's been in the NBA at practice for a week, so he did exactly what we taught him. But at this league, at this level, those shooters we want you to run off, but we're not even there yet. So he, for being as young as he is and as new at this, his competitive spirit is very impressive, and I think that's what kind of drives him to keep having these nice games for us.
What improvements have you seen out of Julius Randle thus far, practicing in the first two games?
Well, I thought Julius I have to watch the tape later, but I think individually tonight he probably had the biggest jump from last game to this game. And I know his numbers were nice last game as well, but he was locked in. He was talking from the help side of the defense, which he hasn't done much in the past. He was, he made a couple early mistakes on Millsap, jumping for his pump fakes. And as soon as he did, he corrected him. He got down. I thought he played a great game. And I think a big part of it is obviously the maturity of having another year in the league, but also his commitment to changing his body and what that does for how long he can play that hard. Because last year he had a bunch of 2-3 minute stretches where he was great for us, but it seemed like he'd fatigue really quickly. And I think he showed tonight that he can maintain that for longer.
You were talking before about Kuzma being a young guy. I know before the game you were talking about Lonzo. You liked how he went out and kind of did the captain thing the other night. You guys had him introduced last today. I know that's not necessarily the first thing you're thinking about, but I mean, is that just kind of another sign of you guys wanting him to try to be, kind of a leader right away for what you guys are trying to do?
Yeah, we need him to be, and I think I've said the whole time he's naturally a leader. The way he plays the game of basketball, everywhere he goes, if he went to the rec center, people would follow him because he makes people better, and that's what great leaders do. There's other parts in this league that come with leading. You look at the great leaders. Jason Kidd when he played, Chris Paul, and they're constantly on their teammates about other things as well and adjustments in games. And he'll get there, and we'll encourage him to get there. But he's as far as being a leader, he already is a leader just by playing the way he does.
Kind of knowing all of that, does your heart kind of catch in your throat a little bit when you see him go limping off the court?
Yeah, it did. It did. Injuries are part of the game, but for what we're trying to do right now and being in training camp and preseason still, and it really being about our team figuring each other out and getting better. I got a little nervous when I saw him go down, which is I don't like to do that, but it was my natural reaction. Yes, but Marco took him back, came back, said he wanted to play, felt good, retaped it. So hopefully when he wakes up in the morning, it's not too sore, and it's not because it's I really want to win the next game. I just know if he can't practice and he can't, be out there on the court with the guys the way we want to play is just it's gonna slow down that process.
What went into? Why did you decide to start Zoo today?
We're trying different lineups. We tried Drew and Larry together. We've committed to this training camp being about people competing at different positions, and we're trying to just evaluate everything we can in these preseason practices and games. We switched up the teams in practice a bunch as well, and felt like giving Zoo a chance out there tonight.
What player has impressed you the most unexpectedly?
I think as a whole, probably Tyler Ennis. I think he's had a very, very solid camp, and other guys have obviously impressed at different times of training camp and in the preseason. But I was a little concerned. Tyler had his first baby in August, and we told him we need him here ready to run and in shape. And having kids, I know you don't get much sleep. So I was a little worried about him playing the pace we want to play, and that's not naturally how he plays the game. And I thought he came into camp. He had our best score in the conditioning test we did. He's been throwing the ball ahead every time someone's open, which we've asked him to do. And his consistency on the defensive end has been really, really good. So one name, that's probably it.
Hey, Luke, when do you think Brooke might be ready, and how does he impact things, especially in the half court, which has been stagnant a little bit?
Well, he's one of, if not our best, three-point shooter. So he helps space the floor. He's been in the league, a long time, so he gives us, some veteran leadership out there to kind of lean on. He gives, he gives us an option. I think if we need a bucket, we can draw something up and throw it down to him in the block, and he can, he's proven over his career he can deliver with that. So, just a real steady piece to have on the floor when he's back. When that'll be, I've told the trainers, I want him back, take your time. When he gets back, I want him to stay back. So he's been practicing in full, and he says he feels great, but that ultimately will be a question for the training staff to give.
The first 4 or 5 minutes, is that basically the speed that you're looking for, if you can generate misses? And so is that?
Yeah, I thought the beginning of the game our guys were great. That's how we want to play. And obviously I think we had 16 turnovers in the first half, which is near impossible to win. I've kind of given the guys leeway on that because we're trying to play fast. I've told them I'm willing to live with turnovers now. It's easier said than done while they're happening. But, yeah, that tempo of getting stops and getting out and running and multiple people, getting scoring opportunities is how we want to get it done. And we know it's going to take time like anything else. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun when we get there.